Uncinetto, I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. I want to apologize. Not that you know what I'm apologizing for, but I went on a trip before Christmas, so in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It was just a trip on the island. And I could have sworn that I made the video and that I posted it, but that was the time when my computer was going all cattywampus and not making any sense and doing whatever it wanted to do. So I went back and looked at my files and even on my Google Drive, everywhere. And I think because I couldn't get the video to work, I think I just scrapped it. But I don't remember doing that. So I thought I had told you guys about this journey that I had been on, and I thought I had posted it, and I went back and I looked and I was like, it's not there. What did I do? So I'm going to tell you about that today. So it was an adventure. We'll start there. When I first moved here into this house, I had a whole bunch of boxes, and I was trying to get rid of the boxes because the moving company promised to come and get the boxes. And they did not come to get the boxes for weeks and weeks and weeks. I had mountains of boxes. So in some of the Facebook groups for the area, I posted moving boxes free, come get them, right? And there was this couple, they were moving to Japan, and they messaged me and said, hey, we'd love to come get some boxes, just let me know, when we can come get them. And I was like, okay. So I said, I'll be home this time, or I can bring them to you. Just let me know what works best. And so they were like, well, we'll just come on by. No problem, right? So they come by, and you have a lot of conversations because people are constantly coming and going here. So how long have you been here? When did you get here? Have you been to any interesting places? What were your favorites? Or what were things you would like to do, right? So depending on if they're just getting here or if they're leaving or anything like that. So this couple, they were so sweet. And they were telling me about all of these places that they had been, some wineries and things like that. I can't drink wine. I wish that I could. In the States, there were some wines that I could have no problem. And even some of the wines that I've had here, the kinds of wines that I've had here, I've had in the States. I didn't drink whole glasses of them because I didn't care for them. But I can take 2 sips here and I have the worst migraines. I mean, I already have migraines, but these are almost immediate. I don't know if it's an allergic reaction or my body is just overwhelmed. I don't know. But they were telling me about all of these wineries and things like that, and I graciously listened. And then there were some restaurants and a couple of other places that they told me about. And they shared all of these pins with me in Google Maps, which was so amazing. And one of these places that they told me about, they were like, it's a little bit out of the way. But if you ever get the chance to go, you should go because it is amazing. And I was like, okay, cool. So I put all these things here, and some of the restaurants and things like that I've been to, no big deal. And then there was this one place, and I was like, I would really want to go there. And I went to a meeting for people who had just moved to the school, just moved to the area recently. They didn't have anything like that when I first moved here, but they coordinated one because there was a large group of people that came in. And I went to one just as someone who was like, I can help out a little bit, with things like paperwork because I've just done it, so it's something that I can help people with. And there was a teacher there who just got here, and she works at the middle high school. And we just got to talking about things and trips. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I want to go to Vienna for Christmas. Do you want to come along?" And she was like, "Absolutely." And so that was the teacher that I went to Vienna with. But before that, I was like, maybe we should like see if we get along, on trips. I was like, so let's do something on the island. And she was like, absolutely, I'm game. So we went to this place. Originally, Google Maps said it was like a little over 2 hours away. It ended up being almost 3 hours away, um, in the middle of the island. Uh, it's called Teatro Andromeda, and it is a beautiful place. Um, it was a little hectic getting there. There were some potholes and things like that. And this teacher has a Mini Cooper. So we were like dodging the potholes, right? Um, but I was told that the roads were really small, so I didn't want to take my car because it's an SUV. And so she was like, yeah, sure, I'll take my car, no problem. Anyway, we got there, and I'm going to start putting some pictures up here of the place that we went to. There were several buildings, and I think like on nicer days or busier days, there's like a cafe that's kind of open because there was a sign with like coffee and like small bites to eat, but it wasn't open when we went. um, so there was a little hut that was there, because this theater, or teatro, it's an outdoor theater. They do have performances and things like that there, but this man built it um, based on a connection that he has with the galaxy and the stars, and this belief that we are all on this big, massive spaceship, you know, of a planet, and doing like we're just gonna come in line with um, the constellation Andromeda, and like that's gonna take us on this journey. And but there was a hut that he lived in when he first got there, to build the theater. And then there's this other building that has pictures of the how he was building the theater, and the things that he was doing. And then there are photographs. I think they're like time lapse photographs, some of them, and some of them are paintings, but of the theater in different stages and things like that, at different times of day. And when we went, it was kind of overcast and cloudy. You'll see that in some of the pictures. But there were moments when we were walking. So you see all of those things, and then you walk down this path. And there's a sign. You're walking past people's houses, right? There's a farm and other things. You're just walking down this path. And you go off to the right, and there's like these set of rocks, and they're all stacked, right? So there's all these stones, and they're all stacked up, and you can walk around. Oh, hi, buddy. You can walk around the stones, and there's like, I mean, it's like a cliff, but you can see a town and a cemetery, and it was breathtaking just to be able to see that there. And you can walk a little bit farther, and you have Icarus, the fall of Icarus, and then you have a big mask with its mouth open, uh, and it is dedicated. What is it, buddy? Hi. It's dedicated to a different type of god. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did take a picture of it, and it will be here in the video. And then you go, and there's the theater, right? The outside of it. And you have to go up these steps and through the store. And all of the seats, right, are like in the place of the constellation. And to be able to see it. And there's all these steps that go up the side. And you can walk out and look off the edge of the, I mean, you are like, you're right there. It's like straight down, right? It is a drop. But again, there were times where the sun was just coming through the clouds, and it was so beautiful. It was so peaceful. I was so excited to be there. There were no performances or anything like that, but it was just walking down there and being in that space and being a part of it. And then we were like, okay, well, so we were heading back, and the lady that I was with was like, well, let's try a different way back. Maybe we won't have so many potholes. And I was like, you're driving, that's fine, right? So we were driving along, and she chooses to use Waze instead of Google Maps, because we used Google Maps to get there. So we thought maybe Waze, WAZE, would help take a different route. And it started out fine. It started out great. And then we got into the mud and going off into these things. And she's in a Mini Cooper, mind you. We're in a Mini Cooper. And it was like, how are we going to get through this? Do we take this turn? Do we go? Because there was no GPS. The signal was gone. There was no signal. Nothing. We didn't know where we were. So we took this turn, and we ended up in the middle of a Sicilian farm. We couldn't go up any further on the hill because we were sliding. It was so muddy. It was difficult to like try to turn around. And it was just the three of us, my daughter, her, and I. And we both got out of the car as adults, and we had a very serious conversation about, do we sit here? Do we keep trying? Do we keep going forward? Do we try to turn around and go back? What do we do? So we did what any mature adults would do. We flipped a coin. One side we stay in the car, the other side, one of us goes to try to find help. And she said, I will go to find help because you have your daughter. I don't want her to be here and be worried about you. You don't need to take her with you. If something happens to me, you can easily get me somewhere, whereas me trying to get you somewhere and your daughter by herself and then having to explain, she was like, it'd just be easier. So I was like, okay. So she took off, and there we were, stuck in the mud in Sicilian farmland, waiting and waiting and waiting. I don't know how long we waited. I stopped looking. And then after quite a while, I heard a noise. And it was an amazing noise because it was a giant tractor with my friend and this young Sicilian guy. If he was 16, 17, he was really young. But I spoke enough Italian and he understood enough English for us to be able to talk about the situation. And he helped us turn the car around, and we got out. And he followed us to the road, and we had just taken a slight wrong turn. We should have just kept going, and we turned right, and we should not have, but we didn't know. So, lo and behold, and I have a picture of the tractor. So that was an amazing adventure. But I mean, I think more than anything, it solidified our friendship because, I mean, there were moments where we were both really freaked out, but we talked about it. We were like, okay, what do we do? We made decisions together. We figured it out, right? And this made me think this is a person that I would be okay with being on a trip. And when we went to Vienna, she proved it again. She helped me with when my ankle was hurt. Um, she um, helped me when my daughter had an ear infection. Um, and, I was always up for an adventure and doing things. And we just had an amazing time. So I'm really, really glad that we did both of those trips. And I'm really glad that I'm finally getting to share the Teatro Andromeda with you. I would love to go back and see it again and again and again. Like, I would take that, not the journey into the Sicilian farmland again, but I would take the drive to go see this theater again. I would love to see our performance there. That would be phenomenal. I'd probably try to find like an agroturismo or an Airbnb or a hotel or something where I could stay the night. But all the same, I would love to go back there again. So I hope that you have enjoyed the pictures. I hope that you have enjoyed the story. And I hope, as always, that you are well and safe. Be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!